Hello everyone. Step back in time to the early 1900s, when tuberculosis cast a long shadow over lives and communities. These photographs tell a poignant story of struggle, hope, and resilience, moments frozen in time, revealing the human spirit's fight against a silent scourge. A nurse moves gently among young patients aboard a London County Council river ambulance, her presence a lifeline for children touched by tuberculosis and other silent plagues. In the inhalation room of a Friedrichstadt clinic, weary souls breathe deeply, chasing relief amid the haze of hope and struggle. Minneapolis, Minnesota, cradles a rare treasure, the only school hospital in the United States for tubercular children, born from Dr. Full Name's unwavering vision. In Germany, frail children burdened by tuberculosis, anemia, and hunger lie still under the sun, their rest cure a fragile thread to better days. Ferryboats bob on the water, desks and cots crowding their decks, offering lessons and rest to sick children even as storm clouds gather overhead. The X-ray hums to life, a relentless sleuth peeling back the masks of tuberculosis to reveal its hidden dance within the body. At the Paddington Convalescent Home in London, a patient gazes through her window, the world outside a soft promise of recovery. Sunlight spills into a ward at Paddington, wrapping the resting patients in warmth, as if the day itself wills them to heal. A doctor's gentle touch meets a patient's quiet trust in a tuberculosis clinic, their shared moment a flicker of hope amid uncertainty. In Glasgow, a line stretches outside a hospital, anxious faces awaiting X-rays as the city rallies against a tuberculosis epidemic with fervent resolve. A physician and nurse in 1963 pore over a chest X-ray, the stark truth of a positive skin test unfolding in their careful hands. In Rome, under Il Duce's watchful eye, Dr. L. Andreatti tends to volunteers with a mysterious cure, his work a whisper of possibility in Italy's shadows. Robert Koch sits with his oldest student in a study steeped in discovery, their minds unlocking the secrets of cholera and tuberculosis long ago. On Welfare Island in 1903, a wooden tent shelters New York's tuberculosis patients, doctors and nurses moving among them like guardians of a fragile frontier. Patients bare their chests to clerks Miss Taylor and Miss Bentley, while Mrs. Gilden labors quietly behind, each name a thread in the fabric of care. The open-air ward at Stannington Sanatorium in Northumberland hums with life on August 2, 1929, fresh breezes carrying whispers of renewal. In Chicago's Christopher Public School for crippled children, artificial sunlight bathes young bones ravaged by tuberculosis, a marvel of Illinois ingenuity. At the Los Angeles Tuberculosis Association Preventorium, patients raise their hands to salute the flag, their spirits soaring beyond their frail frames. Nurses from China, Italy, Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia gather, their 4-month journey through US teaching methods, a bridge across continents. The Peoria Sanatorium in Bayfield, Wisconsin, stands tall in 1920, its very name a vow to cleanse the lungs of those within its walls. In Paris, the Pasteur Institute seals BCG vaccine ampules in 1931, each tiny glass vial a soldier in the war against tuberculosis. Glasgow athletes bear flaming torches from a church to 37 hospital wards, their fiery march a bold stand against the city's silent scourge. London factory workers step into the glow of a mobile X-ray unit, borough by borough, joining a mass radiography crusade to root out disease. Schoolchildren at Springwell House in Clapham Common drift into their afternoon nap on February 22, 1933, a peaceful pause in a bustling London day. In Washington, tuberculosis carves a grim tally: 596 deaths in 1937, with 391 borne by the Negro population, a burden that knows no fairness. From Berlin, a photograph arrives in England, revealing children worn thin by hunger and adults broken by toil, a haunting echo of struggle. In Birmingham, Alabama, a white patient at a WPA clinic receives pneumothorax treatment, a breath of relief in a body fighting to mend. Albert Calmette, master of snake venom and creator of the BCG vaccine, labors in his laboratory, his genius a gift to a world in need. Washington, D.C. mourns again as tuberculosis claims 596 lives in 1937, the Negro community shouldering 391 of those losses, a stark inequity etched in time. A doctor guides a high school student beneath a special X-ray machine, a routine check holding the weight of a young life's future. In New York City, circa 1922, nurses and volunteers adorned with the cross of Lorraine sell Christmas seals, their small coins fueling a grand battle. A volunteer from the Community Service Society of New York holds up a white plague poster, her words weaving caution and care into a gathered crowd. Giuseppe Ugasi, an Italian soldier wounded in World War I, lies in a hospital bed on January 15, 1919, tuberculosis a lingering shadow of conflict. 100 graduate nurses from China, Italy, Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia immerse themselves in US methods. They're learning a quiet revolution. Around 1925, a sanatorium cradles children touched by tuberculosis, its walls a sanctuary where youth and healing intertwine. In Paddington, London, a doctor tends to a patient in the convalescent home. They exchange a tender note in a symphony of recovery. A veterinarian in Ogwaching, Minnesota, examines dairy cows in 1932, his work a vital link in safeguarding both herd and human health. In Pakistan, circa 1950, a baby girl receives her BCG vaccination at a United Nations clinic, a tiny shield for a fragile new life. High in the Tatra Mountains of Czechoslovakia, a young tuberculosis patient rests in a hospital on April 22, 1947, aided by the United Nations Mercy. At the Los Angeles Tuberculosis Association Preventorium, patients salute Old Glory once more, their gesture a quiet defiance of their affliction. In Copenhagen, Denmark, Professor Holger Malgaard bends over his laboratory bench on September 27, 1927, chasing answers to tuberculosis's riddles. On February 10, 1981, a city worker in New York's Bowery hands free medication to a tuberculosis victim, a small kindness in a vast urban sprawl. Washington's surgeons launch an ambitious quest, X-raying 10,000 souls to curb tuberculosis deaths, their mission a beacon of public health. In Los Angeles, the Christmas purchase of little red stickers fuels the Tubercular Association's work, each dime a ripple of unseen good. Mrs. Ernest R. Grant, leader of the D.C. Tuberculosis Association, offers a TB health cross to Mrs. Roosevelt, their alliance a symbol of shared hope. At Stuyvesant High School in New York, students queue for X-rays, the Board of Education's medical eyes peering into their futures. Three children savor their meals at a tuberculosis health camp, milk flowing freely as a cornerstone of their journey back to strength. In Washington, children in the early grip of tuberculosis find care in a hospital, their small steps toward healing just beginning. In Des Moines, Iowa, National Guardsmen stand watch as cattle are tested for tuberculosis, a tense vigil to protect both farm and table. A WPA nurse in Birmingham, Alabama, listens to a patient's story in a tuberculosis clinic for others waiting patiently for their moment of care. Samuel Gompers, head of the American Federation of Labor, buys Christmas seals from Miss Helen Burton, his generosity a quiet blow against disease. Santa Claus lands at the Naval Air Station in Washington, D.C., kicking off the annual tuberculosis drive with a twinkle of holiday spirit. In New York City, the cast of Irene peddles thousands of seals at the stock exchange. Their sales are lifeline for the Christmas seal campaign. At Bald Eagle Hill Health Camp in Washington, D.C., children breathe easier, their tuberculosis retreat a haven of renewal. After a day of wholesome play, boys and girls march to the parade grounds. The bugles call, lowering the flag as dusk settles over camp. The boys of Bald Eagle Hill choose a path to health and happiness, their road winding toward a brighter tomorrow. Sherry Britton and Meg Miles' rap singer Johnny Ray, in comfort after his first club show since tuberculosis sidelined him over a year ago. In Miami, the release of Haitian refugees stirs fears of tuberculosis, a reminder of the delicate balance of community and care. A New York physician unveils a new cure for pulmonary tuberculosis, building resistance with a special substance, daring to dream of victory. Surgeon General Thomas Pearson names tuberculosis public enemy No. 1 for America's youth, his warning a clarion call to a nation. Inside a Nazi prison camp near Hemmer, Germany, the hospital room shelters 22,000 men, tuberculosis a grim specter among them. Emily P. Bissell of Wilmington, Delaware, hands rare 1907 Christmas seals to Carl Holbol, her creation still echoing through the years. Claire Boothloose visits tubercular patients at Buchenwald's prison hospital, her presence a light in a place of darkness. On October 8th, an unprecedented mass X-ray project begins, the largest in U.S. industry, seeking tuberculosis before it strikes. At Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, Dr. Selman A. Waxman labors his Nobel Prize work a cornerstone in tuberculosis's defeat. In a Washington, D.C. tuberculosis camp, children send kites, soaring their joy, a fleeting escape from illness's weight. In New York, ferryboats double as classrooms for tubercular children, desks and cots lining their decks through rain or shine. a young girl perches on an uncovered garbage can in dire poverty, her world a breeding ground for tuberculosis's cruel reach. In Basutoland, a boy grips an X-ray machine's handles, a mobile unit bringing hope to Africa's fight against tuberculosis. Men and boys line up for X-rays circa 1950, a national campaign knitting awareness into the fabric of everyday life. In Marine, West Virginia, a tubercular wife of an unemployed coal miner sits in their old company's storehome, resilience etched in her stillness. Strapped to a gurney, mad bomber George Metesky masks his tuberculosis as he's wheeled to a sanity hearing, a life tangled in shadow. George Metesky, the mad bomber, moves from Bellevue to Kings County Hospital, his tuberculosis a quiet passenger in his troubled journey. 100 nurses from China, Italy, Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia study US methods, their 4-month course, a tapestry of global care. A laboratory assistant cradles mice injected with tuberculosis extract, their tiny lives part of a quest for immunity. Spores from tuberculosis's master strain swirl in distilled water, then join a prepared liquor, science bending nature to its will. Glasgow's health department rallies volunteers in mobile units, waging a fierce battle against a tuberculosis epidemic sweeping the land. Workers bare their chests to X-ray beams in 1944, a picture post snapshot of a mass weapon forged against tuberculosis. Schoolgirls at Kilmarie Secondary School in London SE23Q4 TB vaccinations, Dr. M's hands guiding a mass effort to shield them. In Paddington, a nurse speaks softly to a young boy at a tuberculosis clinic, her voice a steady anchor in his storm. Two boys flex their arms at a sanatorium, their playful rivalry a spark of life amid tuberculosis's grip. At Harlowwood Orthopaedic Hospital in Nottinghamshire, crippled patients brave the snow for treatment, their courage defying the cold. Triborough Hospital for Tuberculosis on Parsons Boulevard in Jamaica, New York, stands resolute in 1940, a Gacho Schleissner vision of hope. In Berlin's Neukölln in 1947, two doctors study an X-ray at a children's tuberculosis hospital, their focus a lifeline for the young. A tuberculosis patient brushes on lipstick with an overhead mirror, a fleeting act of grace in a life interrupted. On a Glasgow street, voices rise in debate over a tuberculosis epidemic, Scotland's death rate doubling England's in a sombre toll. Streptomyces griseus grows in bottles, its penicillin-like mold, a 14-day labor discarded for the drug that fights tuberculosis. A patient rests in bed, tuberculosis met with rest and a rich diet, strength slowly woven back into a weary frame. Boys line up for chest X-rays from a mobile unit roaming boroughs, a mass program casting a wide net for tuberculosis's trace. In 1941, Triborough Hospital on Parsons Boulevard in Jamaica, New York, endures, its mission captured again by Gacho Schleissner's lens. Dr. Friedrich Franz Friedmann steps onto New York soil in 1913, a Berlin researcher bearing tuberculosis, hope and controversy. Los Angeles hikers stand at the White House in 1914. Their trek to bring a tuberculosis cure to President Wilson, a tale of grit and grace. In California's Kern migrant camp, a tubercular mother from Oklahoma welcomes the county nurse, her husband toiling in fields far off. Young women queue at a radiography unit in 1944, their lungs bared to X-rays in a screening woven with quiet urgency. On November 16, 1951, a postman delivers seals to a Los Angeles home. The County Tuberculosis and Health Association, glimpsing a festive future.